Yes, hello. I'm Chris from San Diego. And I started, I believe it was last November, when I heard Guruji on I believe it was a radio talk show. And I knew immediately that God had brought him to me. And I've had several transformations. I was skeptical at first, but I saw all the evidence in looking through all the websites and videos. And I knew that he is the real deal. And I admitted to him that I had doubts at lunch, that I had doubts sometimes of my own transformation, but I've never doubted that what he is doing is absolutely happening. And the proof of this is, like a knee injury with me after the third call, had no more pain and healed. Plants in my house, after using the water, started to transform from bending leaves downward and going flat, and now they're rising up and they're cupped and green. I mean, amazing transformations. But most recently, the biggest thing is my very dear friend. I hadn't spoke with her for a couple of weeks, and I found out why, because her brother was dropped off and was hit by a car. And they had to fly him by life flight helicopter to the hospital. All of his ribs were broken, both of his lungs were punctured, he was not breathing, legs shattered, clavicle shattered, the whole side of his body, bleeding in the brain. Just the doctors said that he tried to die on them at least 4 or 5 times. Not to be graphic, but they had to remove his insides just to stop the bleeding because there was so much bleeding. And they've induced him into a coma medically. And he was in that for 2 weeks, and then they took him out of the coma, and he was still on the breathing machine, but he was not coming out of the coma. And this is when I learned that my friend's brother was hit by a car, and things did not look good. And I was in the Master Blessing program, so that was my main prayer when I went in there. And I said, God and Guruji, if he is to go, please do not let him suffer. Take him. And do not allow his family and my friend to suffer for what is happening to him. But if he is to live, then please bring him out. Bring him back. And that I guess it was like the next morning, I think it was, he was because he stayed in the coma it was 2 weeks they induced, and then 2 weeks that he was out, that he was actually still in the coma, that they were worried about him. And that's when I found out and had the blessing. And he opened his eyes that night after the blessing. And the doctors had a meeting, were having a meeting with the family, and they thought that they were going to say that they didn't think he was ever going to come out. And the fact that his eyes opened the next day, he was talking, not able to understand things or really understand people or talk, but he was trying to verbalize. And then I came on the call, and the next 2 weeks I came on the call, and I told everybody on the call about this, and Guruji was so wonderful that he said, as my gift to you, please send me a picture of this boy, and we will see what we can do. And time just keeps going by so fast that I'm not even sure, but I think it's been a couple of months now, and he is out of the hospital, is walking, is very cognitive as far as being able to talk to people and understand things. He still has a little pain in his clavicle, but the nurses said that they've never seen anybody not have pain in their ribs as they're healing, because it's very painful. He had no pain in his ribs as they were healing. And he's doing wonderful today, and I thank Guruji. And I thank God. Thank you.